By the way, guys, if you're hearing about this group chat all the time, that's our community group chat on WhatsApp. If you become a member here on YouTube or you become a member on Patreon, you gain access to a invite link to our WhatsApp group. You can come join in there. We talk every day, 24/7 about Beşiktaş. We have guys from Australia. We're talking in the mornings, in the early hours. We've got guys in the States. We're talking in the late hours. We've got guys in Europe talking throughout the day. So all day long, 24/7 Beşiktaş talk on that group chat. So go ahead, join us on YouTube, join us on Patreon, and join us in the group chat. And if you join us on YouTube for just 99 cents, you gain these cool badges and emojis. So, definitely worth it, I think.
And just to wrap up that last sort of back and forth with Umer, he says, yeah, but I never said Amir should start. I don't get why you're all trying to shoehorn Amir in. And I think, Umer, you have to be serious. Sorry, that was a little aggressive. But you do have to be sort of realistic in that if you're suggesting that Ox is this big weakness in the lineup and he needs to be replaced by whom, right? Like the only viable option would be Amir Hadjiahmetovic, because surely you're not advocating for...
No, I mean,
Salih Uçan, right? Like we've already covered how that would be an even less reliable thing to sort of expect something from.
You can move João Mário back and then put Keny in the lineup, and then you have both Keny and Rashica in the lineup, and João Mário as an 8. That you can definitely do that, but then I think you're limiting João Mário. The question in the summer is going to have to be that anyway, because I think our left wing right now is an issue. If you bring in a really good left wing back, then João Mário can keep playing in that left winger number 10 free role if you bring in a really good wing back. But otherwise, if you are gonna bring in a more balanced left back, then you're going to really miss that left winger if João Mário keeps playing in this role.
And you can't, like, João Mário being effective on the left side of our midfield is perhaps the thing that's been working the best of late. So I don't think you want to mess with that. I really don't think.
Long term, you might, because João Mário is 31 years old. I don't think you have to build your team around João Mário.
But right now you wouldn't
right now
upset
exactly,
the apple cart.
Yeah, we have the squad we have right now. For the time being, I think you need to stick with what works.
Well, it's quite funny, but the thing I don't understand, man, João Mário's been doing phenomenally well in this role. Like, why are people thinking we should change it?
Yeah.
And this guy who hadn't really performed up until now, and since Ollie's came in, or I'd even argue since the turn of the year, he was improving. But especially after Ollie came in, we noticed him getting better and better every game. Why would you move him after he's done this? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I don't think it's the right thing to consider at this point. I mean, if you want to argue that Ox isn't the guy for his role, then I think you have to find a sort of like for like
I think
swap out. And I don't think we have that.
Yeah, I think we need to wait until Ricardo is ready. When Ricardo is ready,
it even makes sense.
Then you put him in.
Yeah, maybe when Ricardo is ready. But then it even makes some degree of sense to sort of try to resuscitate Ox's value. Of course, not to sell him, because that ain't happening, but just to get someone interested enough to take him off our hands, right?
But the Galatasaray game is coming up. I don't think you make any drastic changes. After that, hopefully Ricardo is back fully fit and training well, and I think then you start easing him in, like you're easing Keny in now, and then hopefully in like 4 or 5 games, and then like the last stretch of games before the end of the season, hopefully by that time Ricardo is the starter and Ox is on the bench. But I think you need to just be patient, and don't hyper focus on Ox playing. I think unless he's playing bad, if he plays bad, by all means criticize him. But I feel like you're criticizing him for the sake of criticizing him because you want to find somebody to point your finger at for this result, and because he is directly involved in the goal, in the second goal, in the first goal, sorry, the equalizer, because he creates that free kick. It's an easy target, but I think, like I said before, if they don't score, nobody talks about that free kick anymore afterwards. It's only because they score off of it that we're talking about it. And if it's João Mário or Rafa Silva or somebody else that people don't hate, giving away that free kick, then I don't think anyone talks about who gave away the free kick.
I think if it was João Mário, they would hate him, by the way.
Yeah,
just
maybe,
they
because
hate.
it's still too...
Because
Yeah,
Mario's hated, and then
Yeah,
now
yeah.
people, he's winning people over. But I think
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it's like that, they're very quick to turn back again.
yeah. But if it was Rafa, I don't think people would turn on him, you know?
They'd be like, oh, Rafa Jaron Sarson Kardashian. That's what they'd be saying. These things happen.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
All right, back to the comments. Contu Window says Vinny Jr. was complete trash when he first joined Real Madrid. If you bring young talent, you have to let them progress.
Yeah.
I think he must be talking about Kenny. Yeah,
no.
just
And look, I think 6 months is a short time. Like, I'm saying, give him 6 months. I think you need to give him 18 months, to be fair. But I know that's not realistic because our fans aren't patient like that. And, and also...
I mean, you could theoretically give him like a few years, honestly. Like,
yeah, but you also have to keep in mind,
but
like, for us, like, monetarily, what we invested...
we want him to perform.
We invested in him. We invested a lot of money in him. 5 million for 50% of his rights. 9.2 million in total if we get 80% of his rights. That's a really big investment. So you want him to perform within the next 18 months, ideally, even though he's young. But Khan 2.0 is 100% right. Vinny Jr., when he first arrived at Real Madrid, they thought, what the hell did we buy? But they stuck with him, and now he's one of the best goal scorers in the world. Okay, I know he's not having a great season, but last season he was amazing. Should have probably won the Ballon d'Or last season. You need to be patient. And that's, if we're gonna go down this route of investing in young players, then we're gonna have to learn to be patient and especially not write players off after not even 300 minutes.
Yeah.
You need to give players 1,500, 2,000 minutes at least. And ideally, not spread out in 15-minute or 20-minute appearances, because it's difficult to, we were talking earlier about Amir coming in when the team is tired. It's also not easy for especially for an attacker. In matches where you come in last 15, 20, 30 minutes, if your team is winning, you're like 2-0 up, 3-1 up, something like that. Last 30 minutes, last 20 minutes, maybe your best Rafa gets subbed off, João Mário gets subbed off, you have to play with Onur Bulut, you have to play with Mustafa Hekimoğlu. The team isn't super eager to score goals anymore. So it also depends. Those minutes need to be taken into context as well. So, be patient with Arroyo, I would say. I think what we're seeing from him so far is good. I think everyone was expecting more because of his very impressive statistics, in terms of advanced passes, in terms of dribbles, in terms of chance creation, all that kind of stuff. And I think people immediately expect someone like that to hit the ground running and replicate that straight away. But you need to give players, especially players that come for the first time abroad from South America, you need to give them some time. You need to give them time to settle in. Like, give them 6 months, give them 12 months, give them 18 months, give them time.
Grey Wolf says, in hindsight, do you think Beşiktaş should have kept Cenk as a sub alternative or let him go, or was letting him go the correct decision?
I would have kept him for a year.
I think letting him go was the correct. I would have rather brought in like Umut Nayir or something like that, to be honest. Something that could be in that role for a few more seasons, theoretically, in that like kind of guaranteed backup role.
I would have kept him for another year, but not at the money that he was asking for. And but the problem is, I think the previous board didn't even make an effort. I think we could have tried to keep him for 900k or something. Nejib gets that.
I wouldn't.
Guys, Nejib gets.
But
gets
Cenk
that
was
money.
just like Cenk was like not contributing already by the end of his stay with us.
Yeah, but he was still
I didn't
recovering.
need to see more of it.
Yeah, but the
I would have rather. I mean, we definitely needed a backup. I'll say that. We shouldn't have just assumed Mustafa Hekimoğlu was the solution.
Exactly.
I don't think Cenk was.
You need to look at the situation you're in as well. Do you have the ability to bring in Umut Nayir? Do you have the ability to pay money for him? And I think that's why I would have kept him one more year. I said this from the start. I would have kept him one more year, even though his legs seemed to be gone last season.
Do you not think it would have been better if we just let him go like we did with Kevin Muleka? I think it would have been, man.
No, because Muleka takes up a foreign spot.
Yeah, man, but like I feel like
then
we
maybe
didn't need all the foreigners like we brought in. I feel like we overfilled the midfield, man.
yeah.
I think we could have kept Muleka and not signed one of the foreigners.
Like who?
Maybe not bring Amir Hadzimetovic
Like
back.
João Mário, but in
I would have said João Mário, but like now, I mean, look,
Yeah.
Sharon Doer, man, we ended up getting rid of him 6 months
Yeah,
later.
Sharon
so-
Doer, yeah, okay, fair enough. But we brought Elan Ricardo in for him, so
Yeah, well, let's hope that El Ricardo's
Yeah, that would just end the
It's going to take
discussion.
El Ricardo till the summer to get used to the team. Like maybe we could have like loaned him back out until the summer, and then had him go through a full pre-season. That could have been an option as well.
I would have kept him out of respect for Cenk, out of respect for what he's done for Beşiktaş in the past. I think he is just as big of a legend, or was just as big of a legend as Necip is, if not bigger. But he ruined that now, obviously. But I think we could have shown him some respect. I think we could have used him. Yes, Muleka, more energy, has legs. In an ideal world, you keep Muleka, but the problem with Muleka is he's a foreigner. He takes up that foreign spot. So, yeah, I would have kept Cenk.
Murat says that he thinks that Mart has better XG prevented. Murat, see if you actually like research that and could give us those figures. That would be great, man.
Yeah, I'd love to see that, but I don't. Were they even doing XG back in 2017?
Yeah, who knows, man.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. But that also ties into what you were saying earlier in his when you were arguing for him. Because Fabri was in a better team, he is also more likely to concede less big goal scoring opportunities. And Mert is in like a shooting range, so he has more chances that to save. That's also why goalkeepers who play for small teams usually have higher save percentages and look better as well and have better statistics because they are facing a lot more shots. So it's kind of a two-way street. I feel like you can't have it both ways. You have to pick then, you know. But I'd love to see those stats. I'd love to see those stats.
So, asks our financial expert, any thoughts on the new head of video scouting, Till Baumann, coming from Dortmund? My only thoughts are, A, I didn't know it had happened. B, anytime you bring someone from a club like Dortmund, especially on the sort of back-end scouting side, it's kind of intriguing concept. And I know it sort of completes the project that we've already been building there in the back room. So
this feels as a continuation as a really solid backroom staff being built, and you know, I think we can only be happy about that, right? Like it really feels like Serdal Adali is making a really big point out of professionalizing the club, so we can only applaud it, right?
I hope that's long term, and I hope he does such a good job that like whatever comes next, whether it's in 6 months or in a few years or whatever it is, that it's maintained, right? Keep building on this, you know, replace these guys with other, you know, when they're leaving on and moving on to the next stage of their career, bring in someone else. Keep it up.
Feels like building foundations. You're laying the groundwork for future success with things like this.
And look, we all bag on Hasan Arat for good reason, but to his credit, he did play, I think, a pivotal role in at least, like, we all wanted him to succeed because he made that a point of his whole presentation about why he wanted to come into the club. No, but I think in the sense that like he's sort of bridged the gap between us operating the way we did previously, and he kind of introduced, certainly to me, that like, oh, so we've got someone who wants to seriously like take steps towards professionalization. And granted, whether he did or not, it sort of, I think Serdal Adali kind of. No. It normalized it to where he had to make it a part of his candidacy. Well, then why wasn't it ever happening before?
Yeah, but Sinan, like he said all of this, and then he had the most unprofessional board ever. Like, you know, the whole.
No, but I'm just saying that.
Yeah, but the whole fiasco
is normalizing it, and that's where what we've built on. I'm obviously not saying he succeeded in professionalizing the club.
I know what you're saying, man, and I agree with that. But I don't think you're quite understanding what Sinan is trying to say correctly. See, I think Hasan Arat promised professionalisation, right?
Exactly.
The fans supported that.
Yeah, but
right?
why would the fans not?
Why? Hasan Arat winning the election, okay? And I think that's why we're seeing a different Serdal Adali than what he said he would be in the previous elections, because he's seen that this is what the fans actually, or at least the voters.
Maybe.
So I think that's what he's referring to, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a zeitgeist shift.
It's
shifted how we view the club, how it should be run.
But isn't it common sense that we need to professionalize the club? Isn't that been like kind of...
I mean, it's a common sense that we ignored for 40 years, though, Con, right? Like, it's common sense, but we've ignored it for as long as we've been fans of this club.
I mean, that's not true. That's not true, because we've been saying for 10 plus years that we need a sporting director, and that we need a satellite club, and that we need all these kind of things. And we're not the only ones. We didn't invent the wheel. You know, like there's lots of fans out there who've been saying and yelling that for over a decade. I mean,
right, but so Serdal Adali has been there the whole time, and he's never said it in that entire time until this time, right? Like, I think we're splitting hairs, but
I think at that point, though, maybe a decade ago, the people that were wanting these things, like ourselves included, they were in the minority. But I think now maybe they're starting to form a majority, especially inside the politics and the voting of the club. Maybe not in the wider fan base, but I think especially in terms of the people that get the vote, those people are the majority now that actually want to see a proper project. Maybe even the wider fan base as well.
You hope so. And that would be the shift you're really hoping.
I think Hasan was the first one that kind of made a lot of pledges about these types of ideas. Did he deliver on it? He failed terribly.
Miserably,
yeah.
In fact, he went another way, but I think that shows Serdal Adali that that's what these people want, and that's
a formula you can apply, and that people are actually looking for. All right, Wolf, I'm going to call you out here because this is, I feel like your third or fourth episode in a row asking the same question. Should Ciro continue to start or come on as a sub? Now,
I definitely
we know you don't like Ciro.
Definitely think after this match he deserves to start the next match. Cathal, you agree?
Yeah, look, he played one of his better games as of late, especially in that first half. Was it good still? I mean, not really, man.
First half was good, man. First half was good. Come on.
Yeah,
and Semi was somehow even worse than usual this week, right? We saw nothing out of Semi.
Yeah, but when did he come on? Like minute 80 or something? He came on really late.
Yeah.
So.
But I think he came on. You're hoping for a spark.
Just keep him in, man. Like Ciro has got football IQ as well, which Semi's get zero of, I'm afraid. So I think Ciro should still start, man.
Yeah. Okay. Guys,
if Semi was giving us any reason to suggest like this guy needs this time, I think we would all be 100% like, dude, at least there's the upside of getting Semi experience. But at this point, it's almost like kind of Mustafa at the beginning of the year. Like, you might be hurting the kid by playing him without like him being sort of ready to contribute in the way that we need someone to, because then you're just putting more and more pressure for him to score. It's not really happening. I think that could have a much more deleterious effect on a young player like Semi than it's having currently on Ciro. And then again, hopefully we've sort of unlocked how to create chances a little bit more consistently, right? Like, which I still feel the solution is subbing out Rashica and putting Keny Arroyo on. Let's at least see that, right? Let's talk about getting young players experience. I feel like that has much more upside at the moment. Because at least then you have chances, you're creating chances maybe, and then let's see, can Semi do something with these chances? If Ciro's not, but like maybe Ciro puts them away and it's not even a question. So I don't know. That's my take.
And to Murat for your last comment here, sorry if I've been a pain in the ass for you guys, but it's hard to talk about complex ideas in 200 characters. Mostly there's a loss of communication. Murat, please keep it coming. You make the episode, you give us talking points.
Lively.
And like all of us, we the three of us, we don't agree on everything, but I think we agree on a lot of stuff. So I think it's really valuable when people like you, people like Ömer, come in with differing opinions and give us some headwind, man. I think that's good. That creates a good discussion. and you're not the only one who thinks about Mert like that. I don't agree with it. I don't understand it, but I think it's good to see some people who actually think like that to come and share those opinions, and then we can actually have a discussion about it. And you know, I very much appreciate you and Ömer and 2.0 and everyone who joined us today in the chat. Whether you are here to agree with our opinions or you are here to give a differing opinion, we welcome it all, man. It's great. I think it really has added to the quality of our show over the last couple of months. So please keep it coming. Don't apologize. You are
and it's not like
cordial.
you're trolling, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, as long as we are, you know, amicable, you know, keep it coming, man.
And Conju,